Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another installment of Slab and Gab here on the channel, where we talk about a slab or two from my graded card collection. And this is going to be an episode where we touch on Topps 3D cards, or on-demand 3D cards. So here's one that I showed in the very early days of the channel. This is not a graded card, obviously. I do have it in the one touch, but this is the Shohei Ohtani from 2019. These are just really cool. So the idea here, Topps takes the top 100 cards from the flagship set and produces them in like a lenticular 3D format, sort of like the Kellogg's cards that a lot of us had in the 70s and 80s, and prints them up on demand. A limited print run every year. I think this Ohtani, for example, I believe has 540 copies in existence, if I'm not mistaken. But the two that I have today are recent graded pickups, and they are from the 2020 release. So first up, one of the guys that I collected very heavily in the offseason, Mr. Juan Soto. So he is really struggling at the plate. It's been a rough couple months for Juan to start the season. He does traditionally start slow, so we'll see if he can turn it around here, but love this PSA 9 3D slab. Just a nice cheap addition to my Soto collection. I'm a sucker for these cards. I know they're not for everybody. They don't seem to be terribly popular, with a few exceptions on the secondary market, but I love them. And picked up that Soto for about $25, if memory serves, in a PSA slab, so can't go wrong at that price point. And then the one that I'm even more excited about, this was a very recent pickup, came in just a day or two ago now, also scored the Mike Trout in a matching PSA 9 from the same 2020 release. These are just really cool cards. I'm not sure that the camera is doing this justice here, or that video is a platform that really allows you to appreciate these as much as you do in hand. But they're really cool looking cards, and I love that they're kind of a throwback to some of those 3D cards of my childhood, which was crazy technology at the time. So picked that one up on a best offer for $20 even, which I think is pretty crazy given the season that Trout is having. I think these two guys are kind of an interesting pair to have from this set. They both had fantastic 2020 campaigns, which was, of course, the COVID-shortened season that this set came out in. They actually, coincidentally, each finished 5th in MVP voting that year. Juan Soto in the NL and Mike Trout in the AL, of course. Since then, they've had kind of different trajectories. So in 2021, Trout was off to a monster season, but got hurt early on and lost a lot of his season. Played only, I think, 30 some odd games, and really felt some impact negatively in the hobby as a result of that. And there was just a lot of doubt and questions about his future. Meanwhile, Soto had a monster 2021, actually finished second in AL MVP voting at the end of the season. So in the off season, it looked like Soto was the better of these two guys, as far as who you wanted to bet on to have a good 2022 campaign. But as it's turned out, Mike Trout has stayed healthy here, knock on wood, through about a quarter of the season, is absolutely just mashing the ball, has not lost one step at all here in his age 30 season. And meanwhile, Soto is kind of struggling and had a very rough couple of months there, despite, a good on-base percentage and a lot of walks. The average and the power are just not really there for him so far. So it's just interesting how they've sort of risen and fallen over the last couple of years, and sort of the fickle nature of the hobby. And I think if you kind of time your purchases around when a player that you believe in is maybe in a rough patch, you can do pretty well with some discount slabs. So that's a wrap for this video. I appreciate you stopping by for this installment of Slab and Gab, and I will certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care.